We offer customized, flexible nutritional counseling designed specifically for you. We work with diverse clientele of all different ages, different needs, and goals. Whether you are looking for fat loss, muscle gain, body composition shifts, improved health, performance, and endurance, we're here to help.
Second edition of Anabolic Academy with Big Dan and Fakhri. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
How was everybody's weekend? I did nothing but work and sleep. That's it.
My Eagles won, so I'm happy.
Oh,
What's
yeah. The Eagles won.
Eagles won, so I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't San Fran win too?
Yeah, 49ers won. Yeah, beat the Cowboys.
Well, that's right, Dan. You're in San Francisco.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big football guy, but all right. We got looks like we have 7 questions total. All right. I'll just, I just wrote them down, so I'll just read them. For the first one, the first 2 are pretty simple. The first one, is it necessary to deadlift in order to grow a good back?
Danny.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't say any lift is necessary to grow a good body part. And some people genetically have better body parts than other.
Mm-hmm.
I think a bent over row is probably, like, if you're talking lower back and just back in general, the heavy bent over row is probably a much better exercise because you're having to stabilize with your lower back. So that's going to put on the mass of your lower back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're rowing as well. So you're going to get the engagement of the lats.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a bent over row is much more necessary than a deadlift.
What do you think? What do you think, Fact? What do you think?
I agree with Danny on the bend over row. I mean, that's one of the compound movements you have to use. Guys have been following me for a long time, for decades. I'm a firm believer on all compound movements. The deadlift is not necessarily just a back movement. I mean, it's everything, right? It works your whole entire body. So that's why I use it at the end of the workout, because if you put it at the beginning of the workout, it'll tire out or fatigue you the rest of your back workout.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah, you'll be fucked.
You'll be fucked, yeah.
Well,
you're gonna lift heavy, but you're not gonna be able to lift what you can. But I deadlifted. I still deadlift, and I've been training for 33 years.
Right. Yeah, Danny, you deadlift. I see you deadlift like a beast.
Wow, yeah. What's the weight on the deadlift, Danny?
Heaviest I've gotten is like 7 plates per side, so like 675 per 10.
That's nasty.
Jesus, yeah, that's a beast. What about when you do what do you call it? When you compromise the deadlift and do no, not stiff leg. You compromise the deadlift and do a rack pull. Yeah. What's your opinion on that?
I never do them, but
no. All right.
I mean, for more lower back engagement, I guess. Yeah. What do you think?
Wouldn't it? It's supposed to cut off like the most of your leg movement and only have the back drive. I don't know. I've tried both personally, and in my opinion, when I've tried both, not that I'm a top bodybuilder or anything, but I saw more results when I deadlifted.
Yeah, I agree.
And I didn't deadlift heavy because I was never like a super strong dude. I might have went to 4 plates on each side. I never, that was it. But and rack pulls, I don't know. I never got a good pump. Oddly enough, Fakhri, I would deadlift with dumbbells, and I got a way better. Like I would do the old school deadlift. Don't get me wrong, but I would deadlift with heavy dumbbells, and I felt I was able to pull back and hit my traps more with the dumbbells because nothing was stopping from crossing my waist. I would just pull it back further. I don't know. That's just me, but I definitely had more results with deadlift than I did rack pulls. All right. This is actually a good question. Even though it's simple, it's a pretty good question. I have long arms what do you think the best way to grow biceps is? I see that a lot, like guys that are like tall and lanky and they want to get their arms bigger, and it's really genetically difficult. What do you guys think? Well, Fakhri, what do you think?
I mean, if we look at guys like Paul Dillette, Ronnie Coleman, you know, we've had some tall bodybuilders, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, is it harder to put on more size if you're tall? I mean, I don't know if that's a myth or it's true, because we've seen a lot of big tall guys. Tony Freeman, I mean, we could, you know, if we sit down, we could name a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of genetics, of course, but genetics would play a role in the way your muscles are built, how much, you know, how round your muscles are compared to your bone structure, you know, also the amount of food, also the amount of PEDs. I don't agree with taller guys taking longer to get bigger and fuller, because I was 5'5", 135 pounds going into high school.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but this guy is talking specifically on his biceps. So
Yeah,
let's say you're an average gym goer, you know, you're not a
Right.
freak like Tony Freeman.
Right.
What would you suggest?
Again, compound movements, right? Like bicep curls, preacher curls. You need, so I guess you would need to stretch the side of the muscle itself to bring in more blood. You know,
Okay.
so I would do barbell curls, preacher curls, one arm preacher curls. And the way I do one arm preacher curls is,
Good one.
so instead of it doing it on the angle that the preacher curls in, I do it on the reverse angle.
Yeah,
Reverse.
straight up
Right,
and down.
so, right. So you're strictly like you're over the machine completely.
Yeah.
You know, your elbows completely over the machine. So you pretty much have
Or a bench.
it's hitting directly. Yeah, it's hitting directly your bicep. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny, what's your take on it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like cable. I like cable movements for arms.
That's what I was going to say. That's also a big thing.
That's yeah.
That's
I
a
don't
big
know.
Vince Taylor and Dave Palumbo thing. Cable movements to grow your biceps.
That's helped me for my arms a lot. Because with like dumbbells and barbell, I feel like it's easy to get a lot of shoulder in there. You know, if you start throwing forward, you can punt out in there.
Yeah.
So cables allowed me to isolate my arms a lot more. But
yeah,
I agree with Fakhri with the straight up and down on the.
Definitely.
Or you do that with a cable. I'll even do that with a cable. Get a bench and set it up next to the cable machine. And
supposedly Dave Palumbo had said that he always had weak biceps, and that he spoke to Vince Taylor about it, and Vince was the one that told him to transfer over to more cable movements, and that helped greatly. But I mean, I always, not that I'm, again, you know, not on anybody's level like you guys or Dave Palumbo or Vince Taylor, but I always kind of like drag curls too. That always kind of was able to isolate my biceps. What do you think?
The thing with bicep motion is your bicep motion is a very short motion, right? So
yeah,
what happens is once you get halfway to parallel and you start bringing it up even higher, you start including the front deltoid, you know, and you start, you know, you take the complete stress away from the bicep itself. So like you've ever seen Charles Glass train people with biceps,
yes.
You'll notice it's just, you know, it's literally, all right. So like, imagine if you guys know what 21s are, right? You go halfway, and then you go halfway up, and then you go the full entire motion, right? So that first motion of halfway up, that is the bicep motion itself on all bicep exercises. Because after that, you start taking, you know, adding secondary muscles and you know, body swing and everything else. So I think form is huge.
Yeah, it's got to be. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. All right. Third question. Doug Fouché, Big Doug. We all know Doug. He says, if you're sick with the flu, can growth hormone make that worse? The flu or cold or anything like that? First time I ever heard that question before.
Yeah, he mentioned to me that he had a flu and he thinks his got worse and he doesn't know if that's why. But I would think no, because if it made the flu or viruses worse, then they wouldn't give it to AIDS patients.
Very good point. That's a really good point. See, Danny, you a smart motherfucker. I would never put that together. I would never in a million years put that together.
I think Fuck.
Really? This is why I got you two guys on.
Fuck had it in his head. I could tell.
Yeah.
So same answer, Fuck.
I mean, yeah, especially because, you know, a lot of you know, not just AIDS patients, but a lot of other, you know, viruses or disease ridden. I hate to use ridden, but people that have certain diseases, are prescribed GH and even sometimes anti-immune medicine, and they're still giving them GH. So it wouldn't make you worse, because if not, they wouldn't prescribe it to such people.
Yeah, that's you hit the nail on the head right there. You guys notice that? You see that? That is a serious insulinous pen.
Oh, that's cool.
I got right there. Yeah.
I mean anti-rejection medication. I'm sorry, I said anti-immune.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
Cool pen.
Yeah, I'm coming out with the breakfast cereal next. Next question. Trifecta Labs. Do you think more pros use DNP than they admit? What do you think, Danny?
I think, because I don't think anyone would admit it. So yeah. I mean,
if there could be one person using it, they're not going to admit it.
I've never heard of one person. Yeah, if one person admitted it, that would be more than I've admitted it. So, I mean, I would say definitely have tried it, whether they use it or not. It eats a lot of muscle, so depending on the person. So, but if they were in a crunch, let's say they're like a couple weeks out and they're not ready, that's their livelihood. I think they're gonna fucking do what they got to do.
Fakhri, you've been around the pro circuit a long time. Have you seen that?
No.
Really?
Not at the pro level. I've seen it more at the amateur level, because the amateur level, everybody thinks there's a fucking secret, right? Now, have I known pros that used it? Yeah. Have I used it? Yeah, I've used it a couple of times. But as far as rampant use of DNP to get ready for the show at the pro level, no. I mean, you have to remember, pro bodybuilders, the top level national bodybuilders already know they already know how long you need to peak, where you should be at. Yeah.
No, not rampant. That's not. I don't think so at all.
Yeah. I just got an 8th question. Save that one for last. All right, we'll save that one for last. Okay. Okay. That was
that's what I meant.
Say it again.
I think more than it would admit, but I don't think it. I would, I would say not very many. Maybe.
You know what? For the sake of education, Danny, why don't you discuss shortly what DNP actually is and where it came from? Because I think once you explain it, or Fakhri, it doesn't matter. Once you explain it, people will understand how dangerous it really is.
I mean,
go ahead, Fakhri, you go first.
No, go ahead, Danny. You can break it down more.
You got it.
Go ahead, Fakh, you go.
Well, DNP has a few ingredients in there. So the way they found out about DNP was they were manufacturing certain things in a factory, and all the factory workers were losing weight. So DNP was actually made a supplement. It was one of the first supplements that were okayed by the FDA, believe it or not. But they didn't do research on it, because people were just losing weight at the factory. So they figured, listen, this is something that's going to help people lose weight, right? And losing weight has always been a big thing, no matter what generation we've been in.
Right.
But so many people started abusing it that it started causing deaths. I mean, as far as what's in it, it could be different ingredients. There's ingredients with dynamite in there. There's some rat poison in there. You have to remember, it incinerates your body to such a high temperature, and that's how you burn, the K, the energy of the calories. So it's dangerous, man. So yeah, I mean, Danny could go on and explain the rest of the chemistry.
Yeah, Danny.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at the back of the bleach, the bleach, it has the different hazards, flammable, what's the other one? Carcinogenic.
Right.
It has all those different labels. That's what DNP has, the same stuff. So yeah, it's sold as a bug killer, rat poison. That's how they sell it. And Fox, right, it was in a World War I munitions factory, and they were making bombs. Yeah. So that, and the workers were losing weight. So some Russian scientist found it, and he came to America, and he started marketing it as a weight loss drug, and then the FDA approved it, and then people
FDA approved it. It's crazy, right?
It's extremely flammable too, right?
Yeah, flammable, right? Flammable. That was it.
Gunpowder in there too.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny said it
it'll
was made in a bomb factory. So imagine, man.
Yeah, there was a guy. There was a guy who used to sell it named Scorpion DMP. You could still go YouTube it, Scorpion DMP, and he shows how good his DMP is. He breaks it open in a little piece of paper, the capsule, and then he has 3 different strengths. And like the 250 milligram, the 250 milligram one, he lights it on fire, and it's like, and it explodes. And that's how he's showing you. The guy got indicted federally, actually.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it just it makes it difficult for your body to produce ATP, energy. So it makes that process, it's called the Krebs cycle. So it makes that process more difficult, and that's what causes basically calories to get wasted through heat. You know, calorie is a measure of heat. So yeah, like Fox said, it makes you hot, and it can basically melt you from the inside out. If you take too much.
Yeah, I mean, it literally does. I mean, if you're wearing like a white t-shirt, put it this way, the first time I took DMP, my office, my home office, I had an air condition like probably like a couple of feet away from me, and it was summertime, so I had the air conditioner on high, right? I was still sweating. My white tank top turned yellow.
Oh.
Yeah, yellow. So I mean, you're literally melting from the inside out with air conditioner in front of me. I mean, it's really, and then the smell, the odor from your body is like intense. And I'm somebody like, bro, we could work out 10 hours a day, go play football and basketball. You're never gonna smell anything on my body. I'm like,
right.
Super cleansed, you know. But when I started taking DMP, that was like the first bad turnoff was that. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Oh, man.
And everything was, but it burnt, man. I don't want to say this because I don't want people jumping on it, but it burned a lot of body fat in 10 days. A lot.
Yeah, but you smell like garbage. So I mean, I think I'd rather be fat.
You could die, right?
Yeah. Unbelievable, man.
You don't want to train hard on it, that's for sure.
It's hard. Very difficult.
Say that again.
You don't want to train too hard on it. That's how you keel over.
Jesus, what's the point? I don't know.
If you're taking
the real DMP, like Danny said, it's really difficult to train hard. I don't care how mentally strong you are. Your body's cage is being burned at a high rate.
You can't breathe.
And you can't breathe. Yeah, you're right.
Wow. All right. Next question from Hank Actus. This is Danny's boy. What do you think the optimal type of training for bodybuilding is? And then he's got a second part to the question, but let's address the first one. I think he wants to, I don't know. It's very general. The optimal type of training, I mean, between old school and new school, it's a very general question. It's not very specific. I don't know what he means by that. Well, I mean, okay. So today, right now, like you would have
he probably means like the new school with all the scientific, guys would put your arm, put one leg here and one leg there.
Oh, the angles and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. Fakhri, what do you think, man?
I'm a progressive overload disciple. I trained with Mike Menzer 3 summers and 3 winters.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, he's one hell of a person. He was mean as fuck, one hell of a person. I'm 33 years training. I still go progressive overload. I still go to the gym, and of course, I've been off of PD since May 2018, so I can't keep reaching my max. But in my first 24 years of training, from 1990 to 2014, I got stronger and bigger every single year. So any other training doesn't make sense to me, because if you're limiting yourself in the gym, you're gonna limit your growth, right? And there's other factors, including like deload and getting hurt. I mean, I've never been hurt in my life, and neither have some of my friends have been doing progressive overload, because our ligaments and tendons have remained strong, because we've never gone up, down, up, down, up, down. We've always gone for strength, no matter what. I mean, a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but my 33 years of experience and a bunch of my friends, that's my deciding factor right there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. But go ahead, Danny. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. Just, I mean, I think like the heavy duty kind of training, You know, if you're doing 1 or 2 sets to failure, I think that's going to be a lot more productive per exercise. I think that's going to be a lot more productive than doing like, 4 sets to failure, because if you're doing 4 sets to failure, that's going to be way harder to progress every week.
Mm,
So
yeah.
let's say you're doing 4 sets of bench, doing 4 sets of 10 to 12 every week. There's no way you're going to progress all those 4 sets.
Right.
Not saying that you don't do 4 sets. Maybe you have 2 warm-up sets and then your 2 failure sets. That's probably what I would do. But yeah, in terms of failure sets, I would say like I like heavy duty style. 1 to 2 sets of failure. Kind of doing Mike Mentzer. Mike Mentzer did a little bit, obviously more
Yeah.
super sets and stuff like that. But
I
definitely,
think the Mike Mentzer change in style of bodybuilding was probably the most significant change in bodybuilding training history, if that makes sense. Everything else is just splitting hairs, really. Do it on this angle, do it on that angle, do it on this angle. But if it comes to like really building muscle, you're still going to stick to the hardcore compound movements, right? I mean, if you go before Mike Mentzer, even though they trained 6 hours a day, they were still doing hardcore compound movements. And then if you look at the top guys today, they're still doing hardcore compound movements. It's when you try to reinvent the wheel that I think these go by the wayside, when they do an angle, or like today I saw a girl on the leg press and she was on her side, and one leg at a time.
Charles invented that one.
Well, listen, I understand if like a bodybuilder, like if a pro bodybuilder is at a certain level and he has all the muscle in the world, and he goes to Charles Glass and he goes, listen, I need to, put on some finishing touches, or I have, something that's out of what. Yeah. Okay. Then it's very, okay. It's detailed, but to put on muscle, especially when you're a young dude, yeah, you got to train hard. That you got to bang the weights and yeah, definitely the progressive. I always did that same workout you guys did, where it was like, I might've had 1 or 2 sets to failure on every exercise, and then just went to the next, but whatever.
Yeah.
The thing, John, also, you're going to have the argument of progressive overload from a lot of people not working, because your central nervous system cannot keep up with it. Your body fatigues, your body breaks down. But
just take a day off. You just take a day off.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the case, how do Olympic style? How do Olympians train? How do swimmers train? They train every single day. Gymnasts train every single day.
Yeah.
The top people. Kobe trained 3 times a day, every single day.
Yeah. Listen, I always went with the way I felt. If I always wanted to train every day, but if I listened to my body and I was tired, I was exhausted, I knew I was gonna have, and I just knew, all right, well, today's an off day. Now, being that I'm older and I have more, like basically working 2 jobs, it's more like when I could fit the gym in, right? As opposed to, and the other question was MK677.
That's how you structure your split too. I mean, you're not going to have back the day after you train quads, and you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, that's actually
so for your central nervous system, that's like
when I just
shoulders, right? You're not going to do that, right?
Right.
You're going to take a little break between certain body parts.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely. And when I see these young guys in the gym and they're doing the angles and they're doing these, when they're squatting like with the dumbbells in between their legs, and it's just like, stop reinventing the wheel, dude. Like if you want to put muscle on, like I get it if you want to be if you want to be a CrossFit guy, all right, like, well, do you remember we were talking about like the type of people you see in the gym all the time? There's always that guy shadow boxing. Well, the modern day guy is the guy that does the pull-ups and pulls himself all the way up and spins around on the pull-up bar, right? He's always like, and he puts his legs in between his arms. There's always one guy that does that in the gym, and it's like, what's the point? Are you
the gymnast?
Yeah, like
JYM gymnast.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, same guy wants to know about MK677. That is a SARM. So am I accurate?
It's a growth hormone secretagogue.
Okay, explain.
Yeah.
No clue.
Yeah, it stimulates your pituitary to release growth hormone. But it's sold.
But isn't that like Clomid?
No, Clomid's a SERM, selective estrogen receptor modulator.
Okay.
that's like Novadex. Novadex is a serum. Raloxifene is a serum. They
Okay.
block the estrogen receptor. It has nothing. Yeah, it's a growth hormone secretagogue.
Okay.
MK7. So stimulates your pituitary gland to release growth hormone, like
Okay.
the GHRP, or supposedly growth hormone stimulating peptides, like those CJC. It's like a peptide sort of, but it's an oral.
So would you use that in replace of growth hormone?
No,
or with growth hormone?
I
don't even. Yeah.
I just use it for hunger.
Really?
You're hungry. They'll get you hungry. That's for sure.
Yeah. I just use it for hunger. But like in older men, you know, it's the studies are pretty conclusive that it can restore some, you know, growth hormone production. But like for comparing that to even 2 units of exogenous growth hormone, it's not even.
Yeah, so it's not worth it. Okay, so if you're on growth, then what's the point, right? It's kind of like using testosterone. Why use something that supposedly enhances your natural testosterone level when you're using synthetic testosterone?
But for hunger, hey man, that's when you hit a sticking point, you know, in the off season, if you get really heavy.
Really? I didn't know that.
That stuff's really good.
Okay, so MK677, good for hunger. All right.
It works for a while too. Works for, you know, a couple weeks at 25 milligrams a day, and then you get up to 50. Work for a couple weeks. So work for about a month. Make you really hungry. So you can get way up in weight.
I should have paid for my trainers, man. I would have I honestly would have.
Come back. You got me and Danny now.
Seriously. I remember this one time, right? I did the last show I did was the Brooklyn Grand Prix, and I went out and I had the Masters, and I went out and I clearly won the Masters. Okay, there was only like 6 guys in the, and then I go into the open light heavyweight, and I'm outside of the top 5, and I'm looking at like. I'm like, why am I not in the top 5? So on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And the next, the guy Del Corso was one of the judges. So I called him up, and he goes, you left and you came out, you were a different person. And I was like, really? I was like, you know, what happened? He goes, I don't know. You shrunk, you looked emaciated, you were a different person. So, you know, and the guy I had there was there with me, and he didn't have me do anything special backstage or anything like that, but he actually told me, and like about a month later, that I should have had you drink water. And I don't know what that meant. I don't know what exactly that meant, because by that point I was like over the loss. Wow. You know, he goes, I should have made you drink water in between the Masters and the Open. And I don't know what that meant at all.
Sweated a lot when you're opposing, and I don't know, but I think a lot of times with judging, I don't know, Funk actually would know this better, but I think a lot of times if a guy does Masters, then they'll just like judge him in the Masters and give someone a chance who like is in Open and only does Open.
Shelf him. Yeah.
Right.
Is that, you think that's accurate, Fak?
Yeah, but not 5 places.
That's true.
Good point.
Sorry, John.
No, it's a good point, but you know, in their defense, the same guys weren't in the Open.
Yeah, we've seen people. I've judged people. I've just showed that the Masters has won the Masters, Open, and Open.
Yeah, they won the whole fucking thing. Yeah. All right, we're getting sidetracked. All right. Question 6: should test be used in PCT? Fakhri, go ahead, you take that.
So this is an interesting question. If you're young and you're doing PCT, well, you need to do PCT at least 2 or 3 times a year. You need to do PCT 2 times a year, guys. Mm-hmm. So if you're young and you're coming off and your testosterone levels are still, you know, above normal being 275 to 750 or 850, depending on what table you're using. You know, if you're still average, you know, testosterone is not needed during PCT, right? You would just do ACG, Clomid, and Novadex. Now, if you're older, it's more like it's still PCT, but it's more like TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So
Right.
when you're coming off and you're old and you don't have testosterone, not even older guys, you could just, a lot of young guys don't have high testosterone levels.
Over 35, right?
Yeah, but even some, I've seen younger kids that start taking, PEDs at 16, 17 years old, and by the time they're in their mid 20s, they can't, they're having sexual dysfunctional problems. They have no testosterone levels or anything else like that. So it all depends on your blood work. So if your testosterone level is low, then yes, you should add testosterone to your PCT. Let's say, again, it's not cruising. It's a therapy. So 200 milligrams every 7, 10 to 14 days, depending on your level. If you're young and you don't have testosterone. If you're older, of course, as we get older, our testosterone level drops. So I do recommend testosterone, depending, of course, on your blood work.
Right. Good point. I've always came off completely off test and always used HCG, Clomid, and Novadex, and cycled it properly. I just stayed on there for about 6 weeks. I never used a TRT until I got older. Yeah, same thing. Until I was honestly, till 40. Till I was about, once I got to 40, everything fell apart. It was a disaster. All right. Next one. Anadrol during contest prep.
Yeah, I mean, me and Fuck talked about this earlier. We both
did?
like it. Yeah, we both like it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I always Anadrol never did wonders for me. I always used Turinabol in my contest prep. It always kind of made me very hard and veiny and so on and so forth. And I don't know. And even when I took Anadrol on actually, Dan, you and me talked about this on the phone not long ago, like last year or something like that. Yeah. Where I never really got really good for some reason. I never really got great results on Anadrol. I never really got great results on EQ. So does it
4 weeks out, if you use 25 milligrams of Anadrol a day, you will notice a massive difference. You will not get flat. No matter how little carbs you're on.
Damn it. I got Anadrol still left over from last year.
25, yeah.
But remember, you have, so when you're in a contest prep and you get ready for a show, you want to come in conditioned, shredded, hard, not holding water. So you still have to control, the aromatization of Anadrol itself. So
Anadrol doesn't aromatize.
But the water retention is enough to get people soft and watery.
That's why I said 25.
I really should have spent the money on.
What do you think, Fox? What would you do?
I've used up to 50. I
have to, but
but I've always, I never held that much water. But I was always, so I started blocking my estrogen. I always use the Arimidex, Romucin or letrozole throughout the year. Probably half of whatever dosage is just every 2 days. At 30 days out, I usually do a full dosage, which is Arimidex is 1 milligram, letrozole is 2.5 milligrams, Romucin is 25 milligrams. I would do one every other day, and then the last 30 days, I would do it every single day. But then by that time, I had Proviron in there, I had Masterone in there, so I had a lot of DHT blockers, and then at the end, I would add aldosterone, which is another hard in there. I'm sorry, not DHT blockers, estrogen blockers.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think I don't know.
It's not for beginners. It's not for beginners to try. You have to have experience.
Okay, I thought so. All right. I really should have paid a trainer and good money. What do I know? I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'd use it like maybe in place of a halotestin if you want to use halotestin or.
I used to use it. Yeah,
I would do either Superdrol, Anadrol, or halotestin interchangeably.
Okay.
I like the Anadrol for keeping full.
I would use the halotest. The Anadrol kills my appetite too. Well,
that's good, right? If you're on a full week.
Well, if you're on, but what about in a bulking cycle?
It won't at that point.
Yeah, right. Good point. All right. Next question. Last question, actually. This is a pretty simple question. Do you guys think Big Ramy is going to win the Arnold Classic? Oof, that's a tough one.
Danny?
yeah. I don't.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no too.
I'm gonna
I
say
mean,
no.
I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know how much. You're not gonna. Your back is not gonna appear in a couple of months.
Exactly. Right. A couple of months. Yeah. Exactly. 8 weeks. Like,
8 weeks. So that was his biggest issue, right? I mean,
yeah.
was he out of condition? No, he wasn't out of condition. He wasn't his hardest.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have
I
guys
feel-
that beat him.
I don't think he's going to win, and I don't even think he's going to. I don't think he's going to come in second. I honestly think he's going to probably be around the same spot from the Olympia that he'll be in the Arnold, 4th, 5th, like that.
You think Sean's gonna beat him?
Here's the thing. I don't know if Sean's. Here's the thing about that, right? Chris Aceto explained on RX Muscle why Big Ramy is doing the show. I don't know if you guys saw that. He hit the nail on the head. And he goes, Big Ramy is doing the show, 1, for money, and 2, he doesn't want to wait that long to rectify himself for next year. He wants to do it now. And he has this chance to say, yeah, I'm back. That was a poor showing, and it probably kills him so bad that he's just like, I got to do the show, and I got to show the world I'm really Mr. Olympia. And that's a great drive. But the thing is, if guys like Sean Clarita beat him, or like if Samson Dowda comes inside, I don't know if you guys saw him recently. If he comes inside out peeled, it's a rat. He's got to come out harder than he was for the Olympia. But I mean, he's just as big as Ramy with better shape, right? Yeah. I kind of admire Ramy for rolling the dice, being like, I'm gonna let it all out, let it all hang out. You do or die. But if those guys beat him, I think it puts a knife in his. Then he really has no choice but to lock down and concentrate on next year's Olympia, and that's it. That's his last shot next year's Olympia if he gets wrecked at this Arnold Classic.
Yeah, but if he gets wrecked at this Arnold Classic, it's like you said, it's not just a nail, another nail on the coffin, but
yeah,
it drops him even lower, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if Sean beats him,
he won't even be in the conversation anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
He won't even be in the conversation. The conversation should be Nick and Samson.
No. Hadi and Derek.
Audio.
No, I'm talking about the Arnold Classic this year.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Nick and Samson, the Arnold Classic, and Clarita's got like nothing to lose. It's a win-win for him. If he loses, well, he's a 212 guy, right? And he's going against the biggest guys in the world, And if he wins, he shocks the world, right? It's a win-win for him, no matter what. This is like the smartest move in the world for him. But Ramy, he's really rolling the dice, man. But we'll see. I would love. Okay, Danny.
He's got it. He's got it, though. I mean, it's his. I mean, really, it's his last shot. I think.
Yeah.
What other does he have?
Well, he came in 5th, so he would be able to do the Olympia next year without. Without and I mean, I don't know what Chad. Well, what they spoke about, Chad, him, and.
It seems like he has a problem, like
because Chad's still training
mentally.
Yeah,
with mental games. So
yeah,
it might be like he needs kind of a confidence booster.
Could be.
And that's the only way that he's going to get back.
Yeah, that's not a bad way. Yeah, if he comes back and he is at the Mr. Olympia from last year, from 2021. Yeah, he wrecks everybody. Okay, yeah, but it wasn't just like he was flat and not in shape. Like he had his entire lower back was gone. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like Sean being 180 pounds and him beating some of the top bodybuilders in the world?
Like we saw him beat Sergio and Regan Grimes. It's possible.
We're talking some of the top guys, man.
Yeah.
But I mentioned this because of the psyche of a bodybuilder, right? So we train all our lives to be our biggest, baddest that we can, right? And then here comes Sean Clarita and he wins or he beats some of these guys, man. So just the psyche itself of the other guys, losing to Sean, it's not going to be like, Sean was just a better bodybuilder. I mean, the psyche itself of a bodybuilder is kind of nuts to begin with. So yeah. I'm thinking about that overall. They're going to be, it's like, wow, I lost to like a guy who weighed 180 pounds.
Oh yeah. Listen, I don't think Sean is gonna win. When it first came out and he first jumped in, and it was only him and Samson. I was like, yeah, he's got a good shot. But now you got Ramy, Samson,
sure.
Nick, Clarita. You got Andrew Jack. You got Patrick Moore. Let's not don't sleep on Patrick Moore, right? That's the guy that Aceto trains. Yeah. I know he's not big, but he has great shape. Is he really?
Oh yeah.
He's got great shape, and there was one Olympia, I don't remember which one, where he came in spot on, and he was he was impressive.
19 or something.
Yeah, it was in 19 or 20. It might have been 20. I don't remember.
19.
And I know he doesn't have the size the other guys do, but his shape and his conditioning usually goes a long way. But I don't. But we'll see what happens. I don't know.
It's gonna be a good show.
And then there's what's his name too? Kamal. Can't sleep on him either.
Kamal, yeah.
This is a good. So, but if Ramy wins, then it reignites him all the way. Well, he's going to win the Olympia again, right? But if he loses, he might take the bullet train. Get it?
Have you seen the recent pictures of Hadi?
No, I have not.
Today he looks insane,
dude. He is the freakiest. You could have really made an argument that he deserved to win last year and the year before. Like really, seriously, he's flawless. He never comes out of shape. He doesn't have any weak body parts. He's a fucking house. He comes full, and he has that old, hard, grainy muscle. And every pose is impressive. There's not one pose that you go, it doesn't really look good in that one. There's not one. The guy is a freak.
Very freaky.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys out there, subscribe to the new Serious and Silly in this bodybuilding channel. Channel's doing pretty good so far, actually. 2 weeks, and I've already had a couple of videos that have gone over 1,000 views and so on and so forth. So it's climbing. We'll see. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday night.
Have a blessed night, guys.
Later, fellas.
Later, fuck.